Okie doke. Good evening, and welcome back to another race in FPRL. It's round 17. The business is really heating up now. We're in the circuit of the Americas, just a few moments away from qualifying. It's Soprano here, also known as Liam, joined by Toby, known formerly as Drive Forever, now known as AMS Drive. How is it going? How's it going?
Oh, doing really well, thank you. It's so excited for this one and so excited to be back in the comments box with you.
Yeah, so for the viewers who may not know myself and what would you rather be called? Would
Let's
you
go,
rather be called just your name?
Yeah,
or
why not? First
Toby.
name.
So myself and Toby used to be commentary partners in a previous league, and now we're back for the first time in quite a while.
Reunited.
So we're back commentating. Yeah, reunited. It's tier 2 as well, by the way. I don't know if I said that in the little introduction before, but in the last race it was a bit of an interesting one, wasn't it, Toby? The championship leader, Magusa, didn't win. He finished in 5th place. It was a bit of an interesting one. What sort of opinion did you sort of make of it all?
Yeah, it looks like he's had a couple of bad runs of it in the last few races, but so hopefully looking to bounce back. But a couple of names rising to the top. Genevieve back on the podium, and Rise taking maybe his first win, I want to say, in that Williams. But yeah, definitely can be an interesting one following on tonight.
Just looking on the map of the different drivers, Lemming is retired straight away. I don't know if he had a quali ban to serve at all. I'm not sure if you know anything. If anyone in the chat can help us out as well, that would be massively appreciated. But we've got a couple of people on their outlap at the moment. Tondelon or Taint Delaint, I'm not too sure how I'm going to say it, but he is the first driver out on the track. He's just going towards turn 10 at the moment. I don't think he finished in the points in the last race, but he is up there in the championship standings. He'll definitely be looking to make a mark here, Toby.
Yeah, I think he's popped his name up quite a few times. Definitely when I did the race last time, you saw him up in the points, and he seems like a really quick driver. And he's hopefully he can get himself together tonight.
Certainly, it's my first time seeing a fair few of these drivers, and yeah, Lemon and TJM, hello both of you. They're in the chat saying, yeah, he got a quali ban. Nice to be back, though, he says. So yeah, welcome everyone who is tuned into the stream. It's nice to have everyone in. Looks like I'm not sure whether to say Taunt or Taint. I'm just going to say Taint. He is going to be the first driver to start his hot lap. He just slowed down a little bit there before going around those turkey corners, but he is about to start this lap, Toby, so I'll let you go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Rounding the final corner, getting a little bit out of shape. Doing this incredible looking AlphaTauri. As we rise up the hill into turn 1, opening up the apex and making sure to get a good exit as the ground falls away from you into this next right-hander. And we start to go through the ebbs and flows of this first sector, just throwing darts at each of these apexes, getting the car rotated really nicely through there and setting himself up for this left-hander. And then this long right-hander, which he slingshot out of down the hill into turn 10 and 11, the hairpin, where you really got to think about setting up that exit onto that DRS straight, taking a wide line in, and then putting the power down as early as possible, short shifting all the way up to 4. Not going to catch a cheeky toe there from Sifmeister on the left, keeping well out of the way. We're now approaching the final sector and this big braking zone down into this sharp left-hander. You can take a lot of curb on the inside, and now it's all about this low-speed rotation and really watching your throttle, make sure car doesn't get out of shape. But it's been a really tidy lap so far. As again, just these really long left-handers, and now this dreaded right-hander gives me absolute nightmares. As he's setting himself up really nicely, being really careful not to invalidate here. Taking a good amount of apex speed there, and now the final corner taking a lot of curb on the inside, and the run-ups up. I'm going to be a 33.
Sorry, I think just cut out a little bit there. A 33.0 for Taint, but it looked, I must say, quite a bit faster than a 33. As Twins in the Alfa Romeo goes quickest with a 32.8. Zilla, hello to you. He says hello, beautiful voices. As Twins, I'm not sure if he's going for another lap, but Cruiser, who has just finished his lap, goes third fastest of the 3 drivers to set a lap. Stiffminster, who did actually get a podium in the previous race, has just gone purple in the first sector. However, as you can see, Lemon, who has retired already, is just dropping down those timing zones and will start from the back, unfortunately. We've got Tiddlewink as well, who has just finished his lap, but he invalidated, so he'll have to run again. And also Groansy is just going around turn 11. You said that Taint, he took quite a wide line going to turn 11 before the DRS straight. Do you prefer to take more of a tight line, or do you find yourself going a little bit wider at times?
Yeah, so usually sort of the line through there is you've got to take it wide on the inside and then clip the apex and shift up through the gears and get it rotated on the throttle. I just I then kind of slide out there. It's so tricky with these cars, but I think
we can see
he navigated it quite well. Yeah, go
on. We can see Groansy here. He's gonna go flat out just about around these turkey corners. I think with the right setup he can definitely do it, and he kept a really nice tight line. I've been getting sort of more involved with the sort of planning of setups, things like that in recent races, especially in this league. I went for, if I would have raced, I would have went for more sort of aero and maybe losing a bit more time on the long straights. But what do you usually go for in a setup and on a track like this?
Yeah, definitely the aero balance is the most important. I think quite high wings around here. I think like 911 isn't unheard of. Maybe I think 810 I used yesterday, so it'd be interesting to see what wings these guys are actually running. But in the midst of all that, Stiffmeister going fastest with a 32.4, very respectable time, and putting himself almost, half second clear of the rest of the field. But I say that, that's Rise, last week's winner. Goes second fastest.
We just had him on board there as well as he went round that final sector and almost invalidates actually in the first corner there. But he's already done a couple of laps, so I think he should be just about safe. There is still a few drivers there yet to set a lap time. I think Silverside's going to be the next one to do so. But he goes second fastest. Like you said, he won the race last time out in Singapore. It's a very, very difficult track, very different to this track as well. As Silverside, he just cuts the corner a little bit, and I think on this track there are definitely little curbs where you can maybe just take the mickey a little bit more. Silverside is definitely one of those drivers to do that as he just rounds that hairpin. Let's see how he does around the turkey corners. It's really interesting to see if these drivers do go flat out, and flat out once again, doesn't lift and then hits the brakes quite nicely around 50 metres before the corner. Takes that last corner quite well as well, just a little bit of curb on the exit. DRS open, and it's going to be a 32.5 for Silverside, so one of the pacier drivers in the first 8 or 7.5 minutes or so in this session. Toby is Jensen is in the chat. Hello, pal, how you doing?
Wow, good to see you, Jensen. Yeah, properly impressive from Silverside boy there.
Let's see who else is doing a lap. We've got Mag User, who is leading the championship at the moment, but like you said, not the best couple of previous races. Of course, 5th place in Singapore. He'll want to improve on that. We've got TJM as well, who has had an on-board request. So once he gets towards that line, we'll go on board with him. The next character to finish a lap, though, is Johnny Vane. I did a little open lobby with him on Tuesday, I believe, and he was quite pacey. As he goes 4th fastest in that Mercedes. It's almost like a typical real-life Mercedes performance at the minute. 4th fastest is where you usually see George Russell, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Putting in a fine performance. I think he's been one of those guys that's just consistently been at the top. And yeah, definitely from doing the occasional online racing, he is properly quick. And
with the George Russell or from Johnny?
Ah, yeah, both.
Both.
Come on,
oh man. Tiddlewink is going to be the next driver, Toby, to start a lap here, so we'll go on board with him before we swap over to TJM. Actually, I think TJM. We've had an on-board request for TJM, so if you want to run through this lap, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Papaya McLaren, got a car ahead. Definitely need to get out of the way, but a good run through that, a little bit wide of the apex. It gets the car turned really well on the exit. Not choosing to map that curb on the inside there can gain you a bit of time but you also risk unsettling the car as we run through this first section a little bit wide, but actually sets up really nicely for this series of corners. As the Apex, a little bit of indecision there on the steering input, but now powering down the hill. Again, that car in front of him, I think that's the AlphaTauri. I think he's on a lap of Tiddlywink, but now keeping it in second and putting down the power. And we've got this long straight, he's got to collect himself, keep him on the right hand side, this shortest run. I'll be interested to see whether he takes the curve on the outside and also the apex. So looking really good, using almost all the room and taking absolute liberties with the apex. And now this final sector, missing the apex just slightly, but getting on the power really well. Awesome rotation on the exit. And again, just looking really composed. And now this long right-hander, taking a bit of the curb, can sometimes set up the car, but keeps it really collected, looking really tidy. And now this fast section, being really careful not to invalidate, but it just steps over the line. Really unfortunate. But Tiddlywink in front of him. Did he also invalidate?
Let's take a look. Yes, it looks like he did. So 2 invalidations for the 2 drivers who were just about to set, I think, decent laps there. I was obviously on board with TJM. He had 2 purple sectors before that last corner invalidation. I'm not sure if he's watching the stream, but maybe just a little bit of stage fright there for the McLaren driver. But it's clear to show that, you know, either the track is starting to really rubber in now, or TJM just has that good pace. We'll have a look at what sort of standing he's on in the championship. He's 13th. He's got 38 points, but he has had a couple of decent finishes this season, as it seems. He'll go again. Henkers is a driver who was going, but has invalidated, unfortunately. And Fishsticks just going around that nice tight hairpin as you just grab a little bit of curb. But, you know, you look at the setups, maybe a bit of a lower rear wing for Fishsticks. We spoke about setups before, Toby, as Silverside Boy retires. You know, do you usually favour just a lot of straight line speed, or do you want to favour the corners as well?
Yeah, generally corners are where you make up the time. Around here, pretty much you're going to use higher rear wing as the stress on the rear tyres is so much. And that's another 33 flat we've just seen. But yeah, generally definitely favour downforce unless you're at somewhere like, I don't know, Austria or your Monzas. But again, it's better to have good balance and be comfortable in the car than just kind of, I don't know, sometimes you can be really racy, but most of the time, if you just want to get it to the end, as a mag user, I think that's his second lap.
Yeah. So a 32.2 for mag user. We're in the 32s at the minute. There's a few drivers, well, several drivers actually in the 33s and one in the 140s. What sort of times are we expecting to see towards the end of this qualifying session? Well, not just Q1, the qualifying practice session, I guess.
Yeah. I guess we're going to see a few people dip into the 31s, especially at that time for a mag user, properly quick. I know Henk has one of his title challenges, I believe he's up there. We'll also look to go quite quickly, but it's going to be interesting to see if anyone elects to go on the mediums. Quite a bit slower as Henkaz finishes his first lap, and then there you go, another
third fastest,
another mid 32. So yeah, definitely dipping into the 31s. But it seems like most of these guys at the moment are going to look to get into the 32s. I think that's going to be a cut-off point for this session.
So I think as well, Fishsticks was opting to go into the pits, but I think he misshot his braking zone a little bit, so he's going on another lap. We've got yellow flags out. I think that is just for the Mercedes that was coming out of the pits, but we've got 4 minutes left in this qualifying session, so he still has plenty of time to come out and start another lap. There is a McLaren that's just going into the pits. That's TJM there, so a 140 for TJM. Clearly he's had some sort of issue on that second lap at least, and at the moment with Pines, he's invalidated his out lap as well, but it looks like he's lagging a little bit. Yeah, that was very close. He invalidated his out lap. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate his legitimate lap. Cruiser as well is in 13th place, Tiddlywink in 14th, so a couple of people maybe just in the danger zone a little bit, but the track certainly quietened down. We've only had one legitimate retirement with a timing though, and it is Silverside Boy with that 1:32.5. So he should be free. He should be safe to go into Q2, but we shall see. TJM, Tiddlewink and Cruiser all into the pits now. Shadow just going over the crest down the hill into turn 11. That nice little hairpin before the DRS zone on his outlap with the number 69 on his on his ASCAR. Very interesting. He's going to look to go a little bit quicker as well as Tiddlewink goes onto his outlap as well. 3 minutes left. There should be about enough time for, you know, an outlap and then one more lap. Shadow will probably have enough for 2 laps, but he'll need to get a bit of a move on. Fishsticks really needs to get a move on as well if he wants to go for another lap. But Groansy, Twins, both opting to stay into the pits. It's the same with a couple of these other drivers towards the top 5, top 6. Johnny Vane is going to start his lap now. But at the moment it's, you know, fairly quiet on track. We've got 15 drivers still to go. I think Pines is going to be the next driver to actually finish a lap, so we'll stay on board with him. Maybe a little bit slower around that hairpin, but he'll make up for a lot of speed going around these turkey corners, and maybe just a little bit wider than he would have liked.
Ooh,
But just invalidates. And I was going to say, it looked like he did quite well in that last little corner, but that's an invalidation. It's not a this and next lap invalidation, though. That's what's important. So he'll still have a little bit of time to do this one more lap, or maybe 1 or 2 laps. But them tyres will be wearing down, you know, every corner. Is Groansy's retired? I think that was just a retirement in the pits. So we'll keep an eye on what's happening with some of these other drivers. There's I believe that's Taint, who's just about to start another lap. Yeah,
he's invalidated.
I think he's invalidated on the last corner.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's both his laps gone. So he's going to have to basically do, you know, another hot lap to start yet another hot lap. Tiddlewink is going to be one of the other drivers who's on a hot lap, and TJM as well. Since we had the onboard request, we'll stay with him for a little bit. But Toby, if you want to go through his lap.
Yeah, absolutely. On his second attempt now. We had a few quick laps. I think it was Pines invalidating that 32.2 at the death, which is really unfortunate. And of course, Henkaz putting himself within 2/10 of Mag User. But now back on board with TGM. I mean, he's got to get a time now. We've only got a minute on the clock. I'm not sure if he's even going to make it round to get another chance. It's going to be nip and tuck. But now, coming through turn 11 and back onto this long back straight, as I think the 2 AlphaTauris are towing each other up ahead. I think as retired in the bits, he's definitely safe. But TJ putting in some solid laps. He was improving, but then decided to come back into the pits and go for this second run, as Pines does show that there's pace in his car, but still on board at TGM, almost 7 seconds up. Definitely putting him into the 33s, but there's probably a bit more time to find in this final sector. Just needs to make sure he keeps it clean and does not invalidate for a second time. And I hope I'm not cursing him there, as he's definitely not going to be able to get another run in, or very narrow on the entry there. Not wanting to risk absolutely anything, as we're only going to be losing one person up to the line. It's going to be a 32.7, and I think he's probably going to be safe with that.
Yeah, he will be safe. Cruiser is unfortunately out with Lemming in Q1. There's a couple other drivers just finishing their laps, but they don't need to. They are safe, and they are through to Q2. But a very interesting first qualifying session. A lot of varying times. TJM did manage to get that lap in eventually. Shadow, who's just invalidated that next lap, will be very, very, very happy, I think, to get through there by about 1/10 and a half, really. So it was very close, as Tiddlewink, he's invalidated as well. So he did just enough. But we have the top 15, ready for Q2, ranging from Pines with a 32 flat to Shadow with a 33.1. So only a second separating the top 15 drivers in this qualifying session. Only 1.3 seconds really separating those who set the valid lap times. So it is close. It's close in this tier, and I think you can really sort of see that there's a lot of competition as well. As Cruiser says Ferrari masterclass in qualifying. Well, there's a P7 for Ferrari and there's a P16. So it's just one of them. We'll see what happens in the race, of course. It's a very, very long race around COTA. 28 laps in all, as Tillwink will just opt to take the checkered flag in this first qualifying session. He is through to Q2. Pines retires in the pits. And that is just about everyone else, but TJ is just taking his time. He'll go around the last corner and will opt to pits, taking up even more time.
Hopefully you'll retire.
nice and slow into the pit box as well.
Not risking anything.
But that's Q1.
Oh,
that is Q1 done. I think a very interesting Q1. Lots of varying lap times from different drivers in terms of the championship standings. What did you make of it all, Toby?
Yeah, definitely shaping up to be a good quali. Not really any big gaps throughout the field. It's all kind of continuous, very close. But Pines setting the pace in that Williams, closely followed by the championship leader of Magusa and his closest rival Henkaz. So that's definitely going to be interesting and something we can keep an eye on. But yeah, very unfortunate to lose Cruiser there, and that Ferrari is... yeah, he definitely wasn't far off, was he?
No, he wasn't at all. So, yeah, 1.3 seconds in total separate the top 16 drivers. So, unfortunate for Cruiser, but he is hoping for a Ferrari masterclass. Brooks says, Ferrari masterclass into turn 1 and 2. We shall see. But I think there's definitely a lot more riding on this second qualifying session. Only one driver technically could have gone out in that qualifying session there. So, 5 drivers potentially on their way out in this next quali session. So, we'll see what happens. Definitely looking for some surprises. We don't have any sort of news on weather as well, so we don't know, what people are going to opt for, if they are going to go for their medium tyres. Let's take a look. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 6 drivers so far, I think, on the mediums. As there's a Mercedes who's going out really quick. I think it's Johnny Vane who's opted to come out straight away, basically. Rise as well, I think. Yeah, Rise. So Rise is going to be the first driver out. Is Billy the Lad. Hello says, big up Tiddlewink. He has made it into Q2 after finishing 14th place. Rise, one of those drivers on the mediums. Jonu has opted for softs as well as Scotsman. Would you opt for the medium tyres in this qualifying session, or would you just stick with the softs?
I mean, they're a lot slower. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket, but definitely not uncommon to see a lot of drivers set bankers on the mediums. I mean, definitely just kind of worth getting a delta and just sort of feeling it out. But yeah, and also just using up set of the quality tyres. But it's always good to see how it is, get an idea, sort of bed them in and see what they can do. And maybe we'll see someone actually qualify on them.
Yeah, tyre strategy as well is quite a big thing. I'm not entirely sure what tyre degradation's like on this track, but do you think it's good enough to opt for a one-stop, some of these drivers?
Yeah, generally it's quite an easy soft medium or medium soft. The mediums can go a long way. But once the tyres get worn, they're definitely pretty tricky. So you can sometimes see drivers opting for hards. And it can also be quite beneficial to maybe even do a two-stop. Go maybe soft, medium, soft, and have those quick tyres at the end to drive through the field. But yeah, there's plenty of options.
We saw a couple of safety cars in yesterday's race. I think you caused one of them. A lot of people opted to pit for different tyres. I think towards the end, some of them were on the softs. We'll go through Rise's lap though. He's just gone up that hill. It's about 170 feet up the hill, and he's just had a little bit of acceleration on the throttle, a bit of overspeed, and that has caused him to hit into the wall. I'm not sure if he's got any damage at all, but that was a big smack on the wall, and he may need to just hop into the pits again because of that. We can't actually see the front wing.
It looks all right.
It looks okay, but
yeah, so tricky.
It definitely was a dangerous shunt there. It's especially in the first corner. There's times where you're not too sure what to put on, but it'll go down the hill and it'll keep going. Who's the next driver now? It's Janu. He's on the soft tyres and he's invalidated as well, so not the best of starts for some of these drivers. Scotsman, he's the next driver, so if you want to continue his lap.
What is going on? Tiddlywink maybe?
Yeah, I think he's going a bit slow as well.
Yeah,
Tiddlewink is on a lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very weird, but it's that traction zone out of turn 1 is so tricky as the ground falls away from you. I thought he was going to be alright as he kind of short shifted into 4th, but oh well, as we're on board with Tiddlywink now, taking it quite nicely through that. Again, it just from the onboard camera, the rotation to get through there, you always think that they're going to just send it into the wall, but very tidy so far, looking very quick. Not quite getting the apex there, but setting himself up quite nicely because it's really quick. Left-hander missing. Oh my god, you can't go much higher.
That was on the line. Yeah.
Oh, how is it?
Oh my word! Well, he's being let off for murder here, I think. But that's a 33 dead and a 29. Oh, sorry, a 32-9 for Taint and Tiddlywink respectively. So 1 and 2 at the moment for these two drivers. As TJM, I think he had a moment on the medium tyres with a 35 flat as well.
Yeah, Fish sticks on it. He's invalidated. Shadows going slowly.
I think Stiff Minster, who's also just invalidated. He had a little bit of traffic on his lap, I believe. So
Groundsy's invalidated.
I think that might have just thrown him off a little bit. Looks like there's an Alfa Romeo. It's
Twins,
I believe, who's also invalidated. Henkers is next, who's also invalidated, so a lot of invalidations going on. It's actually going to be Mag User, the next driver to set a lap time here. So second fastest in Q1, was a little bit slow out that hairpin actually, and he doesn't look like, he's backed out of that lap. So a bit of a cagey opening first set of laps, I think, for some of these drivers is, very slow for Mag User. I don't know if he's had a bit of a moment as well on one of the corners. But it's a 37.9 for him in Silverside as well. These medium tyres aren't optimal yet, I don't think, Toby.
No, I think maybe a mistake and only just saving the battery. I'm currently on board with Silverside Boy, who obviously set that 43. Looks like he must have made a mistake in that final sector as he's up on his time marginally now. But definitely these medium tyres presenting a different challenge from what we saw in Q1.
Definitely, and it is.
What's that car? Is that car parked on Mexico?
There is a Mercedes parked somewhere. I think it's Janu, who's maybe had a bit of a spin actually coming out of that corner. Yeah. He's parked again quite precariously, but he's found a little bit of space. Fish Sticks, though, is going to finish the lap. It's not going to be the quickest lap here as he goes just a little bit wide. It's a little bit sloppy actually from Fish Sticks, but he does go 4th fastest. But I think that is just on the fact that not a lot of these drivers at the moment have found the pace in these tyres so far. As Jonu, he's clearly had some problems here, and he's going for another lap on the soft tyres. Who else is going for a lap? Stiff Minster goes 8th with a 47.6. Henkers as well, is he still valid? Yes, he is, and he's going to finish his lap now and goes 3rd fastest with a 33.3. So that's a little bit more like it for these medium runners. 2 laps on those medium tyres, though. Not what you want to see is Mag User as well. He's done 2 laps now on his medium tyres. Is that going to be enough to get them into the top 10, though? At the moment, I'm really not sure, because we've not seen any real times on these medium tyres. As I think TGM, who also maybe had a little bit of a moment, just went purple in the second sector, but he was still down on his time in that second sector. We'll stick on board with him, though, as it doesn't look like he's backed off. He has gone flat out, but it's maybe not as quick as you'd want to be, and that's definitely an invalidation for TJM, and I think he was just ready to go back into the pits there, Toby.
Yeah, not ideal there for TJ, but some great times from Mag User and Henkaz on those mediums. Again, I think there was about 1.4 seconds between 2 tyres, but judging from Q1, I think the cut-off's going to be probably in the 32s, I would say, if everyone's going to elect for the softs. So I doubt that'll see them through.
Yeah, Johnny Vane goes 7th fastest with a 1:34.
Not bad.
So obviously the cut-off is the top 10. Still 5 drivers yet to set their lap times. Scotsman is one of them.
Yeah, that was soft as well. So after the 3rd attempt that must be, he's definitely going to need to set another one.
Gronesy just getting out the way of Scotsman there. He's gone for soft. He's gone on the soft tyres. Twins as well on the soft tyres. I think there's someone else who's just heading out the pits at the moment. As Rise just has a little bit of opposite lock before he reaches that final corner. Lifts quite a lot as well.
Very tidy
in that penultimate corner. Nice and tidy as they get to the final corner now. Take a little bit of curb.
Ooh.
And once again, out of the medium runners,
Great
he's gone quickest. Yeah, he's gone quickest at the moment. So he's a couple of tenths off Taint, who's opting for new tyres. He is opting for new tyres. But we'll see what happens. Still 6 minutes left in this qualifying session. They're all in that third sector, look. You can just see them on the track map there.
Yeah.
I think a Haas as well has just started his lap. That Shadows.
Suicide boy. Oh no, he's going slowly. Very slowly. Oh yeah, he must be.
Yeah, he's going back into the pits. John Uvain as well. Surely he's going to go back into the pits.
Surely.
He's had a. Is he? Yes. No. Yes. Yeah. He is. Let's look at the Ferrari then of Scotsman, who is going to set a lap on the medium tyres here. Is it going to be any good? It's not amazing. Not amazing from Scotsman,
No.
but that is the medium tyre run. Still plenty of time to get back onto the soft tyres and go for another lap. Stiffminster on his out lap as well, so he's opted for the medium tyres again. Had a little bit of a moment on his first medium lap, so he's about 14 seconds down at the moment. He'll want to go again and set a much better time, as Groensey is going to be the next driver to set a time, so if you want to go through that.
Yeah, absolutely. As the clock is continuing to count down on the. Oh my days. He's a bit all over the place on my screen. As we got a Ferrari facing the wrong way. But yeah, not looking too bad right now. On the softs, looking to get a lap time in quite early. I can never quite tell where he's actually going. Down this back straight now, opening that DRS. It'd be interesting to see what sort of top speed he hits, get an indication of how high the wings are. Almost touching 200 miles an hour. So again, yeah, I think most of the guys will be running quite a bit of wing. I'm very tight through there, not taking too much curb on the inside. It's a low 2 through the middle section. I think that's going to be quite competitive and definitely put near to the top. It runs very wide, massive lock-up inside left-hander. And now this quick right-hander hasn't really caught anybody out. We haven't really seen any big mistakes yet. So quite impressive. Again, he's just a bit all over the place. But now through this final corner and taking a fair amount of apex curve, which is what you need to do. That's fine.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Into the 32s.
So a soft lap from Groensey puts him quickest, and I believe as well the first driver into the 32s, or sorry, the second driver into the 32s. So him and Taint both on the soft tyres are quickest at the moment. Hello to AJ, Neil and Andy, how you doing, pal? Good to see you in the stream. Let's just take a look at the fastest lap.
Oh,
Alfa Romeo.
Oh, never mind.
Twins, I believe, isn't it?
Is indeed.
He's gonna start his lap though, so he's not set a lap time yet. He's going on for the soft tyres. I think an early safety car could definitely shift a few things here. I think Tiddlewink is going to maybe cause a little bit of bad wake for him. And Tiddlewink, he didn't do his first lap on the soft tyres, but he didn't do his first lap on the medium tyres, but has opted for the mediums this time and has gone well wide. And he's just going to have to put that lap in the bin, I think.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy, doing soft first and then medium. So if he can actually beat his soft time and his mediums, I'll be very impressed.
Twins, though, just went purple in the first sector as he goes down the hill around turn 11. You can see the racing line where the rubber isn't really at. DRS open, he's still got plenty of that ERS to use as well. Hello to David Lawface as well. You want to hit the brakes nice and late here. It's about the 100-metre board.
That's a good run.
And once again, they're skipping the corners really nicely here. Not taking too much curb. Goes around the hairpin. It's a little bit wide. And then just trying to shave as much time as he can off here. As once again, rides the curb really nicely. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him, but it moves out the way straight away as he goes around those turkey corners. Once again, it's flat out. You go into 7th gear from 6th. In there, and he has to just slow down a little bit before the penultimate corner, and then it's just a nice short ride up to the line, but his time was hampered in the last corner, but it doesn't mean anything. He goes quickest with a 1:32.666. Look away, Christians. He is going quickest, but Taint, is he going to go quicker? Yes, he will, with a 1:32.6 as well. So well done to Taint. The AlphaTauri is really showing his teammate up at the minute. Tiddlewink, who he's all over the place, just like Gronesy was. Yeah. Let's have a look at the bottom 5 battle, though. Twins is gone off the track. Stiff Minster is in 15th place. He's just started his lap.
Silverside
TJ
Boy
is in 14th. Silverside Boy, he's just about to finish his lap. And yeah, goes quickest by about 0.3 of a second there. So he goes quickest. He should see himself through to Q3 as well. Scotsman on an outlap as well on the soft tyres. Jonu has opted for that new set of soft tyres and will be one of the next drivers to finish his lap. Oh, but invalidates, and it's so tight on that penultimate corner. There's so much curve that you can take, and I think it would have been quite a good lap as well. He would have improved, certainly, and it would have taken him to about 11th place. I mean, you've got to feel for him. Fish Sticks, I think he's invalidated his outlap.
Yeah.
But I think he should be alright. Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, he's gone for another lap. TJM, I think he finished his lap previously, I'm not too sure, but he's going again on soft tyres this time. I think he went for the medium tyres before, correct me if I'm wrong. David Lawface is encouraging Scotsman, who's in 11th place. He'll be out at the moment if he doesn't improve on his time. We've got Ferrari Scotsman just running through that DRS zone at the moment. It's very, very tight here as the flag has gone. Shadows has not made the line. I don't think he was even ready to go for another lap. So he is really the driver in danger at the moment. As Scotsman, he has just actually been knocked out. I'm not too sure who by. I think it was Stiff Minster who's knocked him out. So Stiff Minster is up to 5th place now, as that's Magiuser, who has gone into the 31s at the moment. Will stay on board with the Ferrari of Scotsman, who is looking to get out of Q2 here into the top 10 shootout. Final corner, he's kept it nice and tight as they go onto the final corner now. And just that short little run up, he'll get DRS. And what sort of lap time is it going to be? It's enough for 3rd place, and that puts Henkers now into the bottom 3. He is just about to finish one of his laps. We'll go on board with TJM though, who is still going. Can he get himself into Q3? Let's take a look. Maybe a little bit slow on the exit, but he goes 9th fastest. Rise has invalidated. He's out of qualifying. Henkers, can he make it through to Q3? Yes, he can. Up to 4th place for Henkers. And Fish Sticks, is he going to make it through? Yes, he will as well.
TJ.
So now Tiddlewink is in danger. And TJ as well, unfortunately, missing out by about 1/10 and a little bit. Is Tiddlewink going to pile on the misery for TJM though? Let's see. Final corner.
It's messy.
He's ran out of, and it's not good enough. So there you go, the bottom 5 in this qualifying session, Q2. It got a little bit tense there, didn't it, Toby? But Jonu Vane, who was on the cusp of elimination, made it through. And Shadows, he went for the medium lap, I believe, but nothing came from it. I think he missed the line. So he's out in qualifying. Tiddlewink did 4 laps in total on his medium tyres, and then Pines as well didn't make it through. So Rise and Pines were 2 of the top drivers in Q1. They've been knocked out in Q2 here, Toby.
Yeah, that's definitely a few surprises there. I mean, there's just so much going on. People making mistakes, people not quite making the line, invalidating their final runs, but eventually, as you can see, it's worked itself out, and the entire top 10 on the softs in the end. But yeah, definitely shocked to see both those Williams out.
Yeah, confirmation from David Lawface. Rise was last week's winner. He's out in Q2, so if he wants to replicate that win, he's really going to have to storm through the field. And just looking as well, we saw the early times, they were all on the medium tyres. None of them have qualified on the mediums this time. Williams have had a nightmare as well, they say, as Rise and Pines. Yeah, they're both out in Q2. The AlphaTauri and McLaren, as well as a Haas out as well. But what a lap that was from Henkers and Scotsman as well. There's a lot of love for Scotsman in the chat at the moment, as Magiuser as well. He went 5.5 tenths quicker in that Q2 final stim. So he's through into the top 10 shootout, and I'm not sure if we can do. There's a poll for poll that people do. We can't put it up, unfortunately. But if someone who has Lightstream or anything can set it up for us, that would be fantastic. To see who will get pole. But Toby, what's your prediction for pole here?
I mean, Mag User looks pretty posed at the moment, setting that at 31 in Q2, putting himself well ahead of the field. But I don't think we saw all the pace from the rest of the drivers. I think Joanna Bain is definitely a name that needs to be put in the hat, as well as Henkaz, especially. I think his Q2 run wasn't the best, but looking at his Q1 pace, he's definitely going to be up there and challenging Maggie's for the pole, and the win, I guess. How about yourself? You got any hot picks?
Any hot picks? Well, I think you've got to look at Mag User, haven't you? But I thought it was really, really impressive, that lap from Scotsman. So you never know. Maybe stick a couple of quid on him.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ferrari master plan.
It was a master plan from Ferrari. One out in Q1, one into Q3, top 3 in Q2 as well. So we've got about 10 minutes left in this qualifying session. Hello to everyone who's tuned in as well. We've got 32 viewers here to listen and watch the return of Marcel Soprano and in Drive Forever, also known as AMS Drive. So we really appreciate all the support that you guys have given us so far in this little live stream, and keep them comments coming. I'm not sure if I can do the poll because I'm not logged into the account. But if you guys want to put your predictions into the chat, let us know who you think is going to be on pole, as Fishsticks is going to be the first driver to set his lap time. And I know what you mean when you're on that broadcast camera. It looks like they are just going to go straight on. There we go. The poll for pole is up. So there's a few options on there. So Pines is on there for some reason. He was out in Q2, but Mag User's on there. Taints, Groansy, Henkers, and Pines as well. If you want to vote for Pines, then you can. But Fishsticks is going to be the first driver to set his lap time. So Toby, I'll let you take the reins for this and go through what could be potentially a pole-setting lap.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Haas, the home Grand Prix, very tidy through turn 1, and now he's just going to be spotting these apexes and chaining these high-speed corners. Looking very good, taking a good back, not running too wide, getting all collected back up on the right-hand side to set himself up for this next section. Keeping the car on the right side and then slingshotting through that left-hander and down the hill into turn 11. Again, you can take the curve on the outside, choosing to keep it on the grey stuff. And yeah, a very neat run through there, getting the car rotated well, and now activating the DRS for this long run down the back straight and into the final sector. Let's see what he does. How much curve is he going to take on this inside? Not too much. It's quite respectable, but leaves a lot of space on the outside. So yeah, definitely leaving some time on the table for his next few runs. But very tidy, taking the wide line in there and then getting the car rotated through, not quite hitting the apex. So yeah, definitely a lot of time left out there for his next few runs. This fast flowing right-hander, and then now jabbing the steering wheel left and getting the car turned in, and now setting up this final corner can be so tricky on the exits. You just want to plant the throttle for this short run to the line. It's going to be a 32.8. Probably won't be the fastest we've seen, but not a bad banker whatsoever.
No, not a bad banker whatsoever, but we'll go on board with Taint, who will go second fastest. These lap times are going to come in quite thick and fast, I believe, here. It's going to be Johnny who goes, yes, he goes quickest by just under 0.4 of a second. And then it's the Red Bull of Mag User with a 1:31.9. And then I believe that was Henkers who invalidated his previous lap. Silverside goes third quickest with a 32.5. And then Groansy with a 32.6. Yes, a 32.6 puts him fourth fastest. It's the other Alfa Romeo of twins. There's only one duo, and they've both invalidated. Only one duo in this qualifying session, and they've both invalidated. So they'll have to go again.
Stiffmeister.
That was Stiff, Stiffmeister, who goes second fastest. He'll be really happy with that time as well. But I think still, like you said, Toby, with Fishsticks lap, there's still time on the table. Scotsman nips into the pits. I think maybe he had a this and next lap invalidation. Yeah. So the next people to go on legitimate laps, they're Twins and Henkers. he is on that DRS straight now, and maybe just catching a little bit of a slipstream from one of his championship rivals, actually. Well, his championship rival at the minute, Mageusa. But it's so tight, that line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good. I think that is the line he's taking. He's absolutely aced that. But now we need to make sure this car in front does get out of the way, but he's definitely got out of the way. And now getting the car turned in. Yeah, you want to avoid these curves, and sometimes they can really get the car out of shape. Now this is where a lap is made or lost. Through the final corner, getting the car rotated well, and then planting that throttle down. Yeah, these times are tight.
Fastest. It is very tight, isn't it? 4th fastest for Henkes. I think he kicked up a little bit of dirt on the final corner as well. I just saw the rear wheels get sprayed a little bit. But 4th fastest, I think, there's some scrub sets going on out there. Apparently Fish Sticks had a scrub set on. Twins is going to go into the pits. He invalidated his next lap as well. And this is the point now, Toby, where not many people are setting any laps, so you can just sort of take a minute to relax and just assess what's going on. Yeah, that's Stiffminster going into the pits. Henkes is just going back. But it's John Uvain is the only driver who's really pushing at the moment, and he's 3rd fastest. You said that he's one of them drivers who has got quite a lot of pace, but it looks like he's running out of VRS at the moment. But
yeah, he's
and there you go.
off.
Yeah, I think he's slowed down. So you can just take a minute just to chill out.
Yeah.
Before we see these final laps. Taint is coming out now. Scotsman's coming out as well. The track, without a doubt, rubbered in. Mageusa has drawn first, definitely. If you look at the battle for the championship, it's really between him and Henkes at the moment.
Yeah.
In terms of, how close they are on points, only 39 points away. Gronzi is 56 points away. Biddle, who unfortunately isn't racing tonight, is 79 points away as well. But Henkes could close the gap here with a massive points haul. But we'll just have to see what happens. We've got about 4 3/4 minutes of this qualifying session left, and then they will be racing for 28 laps all the way to the checkered flag. It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, Stiffmeister actually doing really well. I mean, when we were putting our predictions in, he wasn't really a name which graced our lips, but yeah, putting in a great effort there. Hopefully not taking it personally.
Stiffmeister currently 7th in the standings. A win today could see him go as high as 6th.
Yeah, of course, 4 rounds remaining, including this one, so I'm not sure if he's out of the running, but never say never.
I think he is out of the running, unfortunately.
I'll do it.
So the only people that can win the title at the moment is up to...
No.
Oh no, you're joking.
I think that's
so
only
Scotsman
both laps.
invalidates on his last corner, so he'll need to sort of hurry himself up. But yeah, the only people who can still win the championship are up to 10th, so 5th place and upwards can still win the title. So there's still a little bit to play for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what's the gap of 37 points? That's definitely not impossible to overcome. But I think with the bad luck Maggie's has had, you could maybe say that the momentum's against him, or you could say he's going to bounce back really strong. So you can kind of spin it both ways. But yeah, currently on board with Taint to Late at the moment. So he's navigating this first sector quite well.
Yeah, it's always, without a doubt, it's one of the most difficult parts of any track.
Ooh.
It's just like Silverstone's, Maggots and Beckett's, is you got a little bit of traffic on this lap. It's
Toe?
Twins who,
Cheeky
I
toe.
think, it looks like there's a bit of a
look at
gentleman's
this.
agreement here. He's going to give him a toe. He just needs to make sure, maybe not the right
toe.
direction to
Has he
go
got a
out. But Twins? No, he's not. He's missing a front wing.
Oh dear. How is
So
he?
Twin, this is disastrous for Twins.
Oh
And I
man.
think that will mean, unfortunately, he's
Yeah.
not going to be able to get another lap.
No, not unless he skips the first sector. Yeah, I think that's pretty much him confined to 10th place. So very unfortunate. But I mean, Taint to Late isn't going to be complaining after that day. That was quite generous.
That was generous, and he's up actually by 6/10. So depending on what's happened in this little bit of the sector, we could be looking at provisional pole here, but it's only 5th place. He's up by 6/10 and misses out by 3 milliseconds on 4th place. I'm
Ooh,
going to
what's
change
happened?
it now to
Henkaz
what
is
has
round.
happened.
Henkaz
is round.
is round.
He's
and
invalidated as well.
Maybe he was
But
just
it
getting
is
up
only
the
an
road.
outlap for him. Yeah.
Gonna need to hurry up. Oh, it is only
So-
an outlap. Yeah, he was just getting up. What am I talking about?
Silverside invalidated his lap as well, but he's going to be able to go for one more as we go down now to the final 90 seconds of this qualifying session. There goes Twins. He's not going to set another lap, so he is 10th fastest. A big opportunity for some of these drivers now to make it into the top few places. Stiffmeister is really going to be looking for that pole position. He's absolutely given it everything out there. Up to 7th with the DRS, going to speeds of nearly 200 miles an hour here. It's a long straight where you can make up quite a lot of time with the DRS. If only he had a little bit of a toe though. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, and there's that mag user. Yeah, he's just letting people through. Stiffminster is up on his time, and he's gone purple in the 2nd sector.
Scotsman goes
Let's
6th.
see what he can do here. The Scotsman, yeah, he goes 6th, so that's quite impressive for the tyres that he had on. Of course, he did this in next lap invalidation. 6th, well, 7th fastest now as Taint just goes a little bit ahead of him. Oh, sorry, it was Groensey, I think that might have gone ahead of him.
Yeah. And
final corner now for Stiffminster. Is it going to be anything better? And it is. It's provisional pole for Stiffminster. What is Mag User going to do? It's first blood to Stiffminster at the moment. Johnny Vane is up on his time as well. This is when it gets really interesting, as we are going to see just about the end of qualifying. Henkers is on quite a hot lap as well, as he's just going around that first sector. Goes purple as well, so he's up on his time. Still a lot of time to make up here. Scotsman isn't going again. Fish Sticks, I think, might be going again. Silverside Boy
just made the line.
I think he's just made the line, but he wasn't really going that fast either. Let's keep an eye on who's going to be the next driver to finish. It's going to be Johnny Vane, so 2 tenths between Mag User and Stiffminster, but Johnny Vane needs to make up about 4 tenths. He's gone purple in the 2nd sector now as he rounds that hairpin, keeps it really nice and tight, and then it is just flat out around this corner. It of course emulates turn 8 in Turkey. Look at that, it's on a knife edge, isn't it, for how fast you can go. Last corner.
No.
And he has invalidated. What a shame. He's invalidated.
Fish Sticks now. Oh, what a nightmare. Oh, all that shape.
Oh my word.
It's
going to be Mag User next. Mag User goes provisional pole.
What a lap.
Wow.
Henkaz. Can he say anything about it? That's not bad.
3rd fastest for Henkers. So Stiffminster, if anything, he's going to have the inside line. Unless, no, I don't think anyone can say anything about that now. That is qualifying over. And by about 3.5 tenths of a second,
wow.
It is Mag User on pole position here, followed by Stiffminster with an exceptional qualifying. Henkers in 3rd, his championship rival, and Johnny Vane as well in 4th place. Really, really impressive from the top 5. There's Groensey, like you said, managed to make it into 5th place. But Twins as well, he'll not be happy with himself, Twins. But a 31.3, the track had definitely rubbered in by then. What an impressive showing by Mag User once again. Just maybe putting another fingertip on that trophy. Still a few rounds to go. He's not won it yet, but a big points haul could do massive wonders for him here.
Yeah, he's not doing anything wrong tonight. He's absolutely got the pace. So yeah, well, 3.5 there or thereabouts advantage over Stiffmeister. But yeah, I think he's going to be close. Stiffmeister obviously not getting in that final run. Henkaz, obviously he's in 3rd. He's going to be wanting a lot more. So I think turn 1 is definitely going to be very interesting. But yeah, especially with pole on the outside, it's definitely not the best side of the track. But yeah, that is so close in that midfield.
It is incredibly close. A second separating that top 10 there. Of course, Twins didn't set his lap time. He'll be in 10th place for the start of the race. But that was qualifying. That was tense. Guess what? We've got another 28 laps of this to go.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna have a quick 2-minute break if that's okay, just to
absolutely.
recharge the batteries. But after that, it'll be the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Of course, a few guys are going to be ruining. Twins obviously not able to get in that lap time and join his teammate in that top three. So he's going to be looking to make up places. Of course, a few disappointments in Q2 as well. So there's going to be a lot happening on the run into turn one as we get set to start this race. But very commanding from Maggie's there. He seems to just have the pace in every single session. Of course, dipping into the 31s in Q2, setting the low 32s in Q1, I believe. He's headed every single session, so he's I don't want to curse him, but he's on track for something. As I'll have a little look at these starting tyres, you expect everyone outside the top 10 to really start on the mediums. With the odd one pitting on the softs, of course, they're going to have fresh tyres over everyone in the top 10. WRL Lemming, he's going to be heading up the back of the pack in the Alpine, followed by Cruz in that Ferrari in 16th. But yeah, now we can see. Yeah, now you see a few electing to put the mediums on.
The screen, I think we're just there. What
Yeah.
we're seeing on yours?
Yeah. So I was just going through the race
message.
director.
Okay, cool. So, looks dry. Not sure if there's any.
Definitely looks dry. Yeah. Blue skies in Austin.
Makes a change from time to time, I think, in Austin. It does rain quite a lot there sometimes.
Can rain. I'm trying to think back to the last wet race. I think it was 15. There was a wet race. Doesn't seem David in the chat. Yeah, I think it was 2015. There was a dry race, or it was 2014. There was a wet race. Yeah.
I do remember there was one.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was Ricardo doing quite well. Yeah, but yeah.
So, we are. I think we're just waiting for that that confirmation. That will be given like a 30-second warning or a 20-second warning, and then from that we can go through the grid once again. But Toby, you were racing on this track yesterday. You were running about second place, as I think Pine said. 2015 was the wet race. Lewis won the title at that race. Wow. Wet race.
So yeah, Stiffmeister actually came second last week. So
wow.
He might be on a bit of a run of form.
So we'll have a look to see where everyone finished. Race results. Race results for Singapore. So yeah, Johnny Vane, he got a podium last time, and Croskery, who isn't racing tonight unfortunately, was fourth. Silverside Boy in 6th, Cruiser 7th. So I think the person that made the most gains though was actually Stiffmeister. So he made 10 places, and Fishsticks as well made 7 places. So I think Stiffmeister is really in for a good race here if he can get going.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one to keep an eye on. He's definitely got the pace. And of course, the two Williams guys, Rise, of course, last week's winners. I think they were both the Williams guys. They set their times on medium, so definitely a lot more to be seen from them this evening. So, of course, the qualifying ban for Lemming. So we could definitely see a few drivers coming through rather quickly.
Yeah, definitely. We've had the countdown as well, so we've had that sort of little grace period where people can sort out their setups and they can sort out how much fuel they want to put in, their tyre strategies. You know, the tyre deg we spoke about before, it's not really that bad around here, so it is going to be really interesting to see when people pit, or if there's going to be a safety car at any point in time that sees other people pitting. But Mageuser does take them away in the formation lap. But we'll go through the grid now. So Mageuser in first place managed to get a stunning lap to get pole position. I'm just trying to see the tyres. So only 4 drivers on the medium tyres.
That's surprising.
Henkers in third place.
That is surprising. We thought we'd see a lot more, but maybe everyone's kind of betting on an early safety car. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that first sector is a bit of a nightmare. Johnny Vane in 4th. Groundsy in 5th place, Taint Delaint, or Tondelon in 6th place. Scotsman in 7th. Fishsticks in 8th place. Silverside Boy in 9th, with Twins, who didn't get a lap time, in Q3 in 10th place. TJ in 11th place. He just missed out on Q3. So there's a little bit of I think it's a slow Alpine just in that second sector. As Johnny Vane's left the session, I don't know if we can just hop in another invite. Tiddlewink in 12th with Pines and Rise. The 2 Williams they will be on the same row together, I believe. Both on the medium tyres as well. Shadows in 15th. The Cruiser and Lemming taking up the back row in this race, and what is going to be, I think, a really, really tense race. There's still quite a lot to play for. Does comms team go on board with Silverside Boys at the start, please? No, I'm going on board with the broadcast camera, like I usually do. David Loveface says, "Come on, Cruiser! If you guys want to put your predictions in for this race, that would be fantastic." Pit stop strategy predicted a 2-stop for Mageuser.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, because you said a 1-stop is usually the way to go on this track. But I think maybe a 2-stop would happen. He's left again, Johnny Vane. A 2-stop may be possible with some safety cars.
Yeah, usually you wouldn't go soft, medium. But definitely if there's a late safety car, or we could definitely see a few people switch to the softs. But in the opening laps, there's quite a big disparity between the 2 compounds, so we should see quite a lot of action.
So the rest of the cars are lining up. Yorkie says Taint, Mageuser, Henkers is the top 3. Not sure what order that's in. But Lemming is going to be the last driver to set us up. Now it's all about waiting for them 5 red lights as we have 28 laps around COTA. And we are racing, and it's a good start from Mageuser, but it's a good start from Stiffmeister as well. And there's a Mercedes, that's Johnny Vane, down the inside.
Oh, that's close.
But Mageuser is going to take the lead, and Johnny Vane just sent it down the inside a little bit too much, and he has lost about 5 places from the start there. And Mageuser in 1st place, followed by Stiffmeister. Henkers in 3rd. 4th place, it's Groundsy, and there's a few spinners. Taint Delate has spun as well. Twins has made up 5 places from the start, with Scotsman in 6th. This is a really, really good start from the Ferrari engine drivers. Tiddlewink as well has made 5 places up. Johnny Vane, like we said, has lost 4. Lemming as well must have sent it down the inside. He's made 8 places from the start, with TJ going up into 10th place as well. Rise and Pines, both the Williams drivers, they're battling. It's about 3 wide between those guys. It's getting a little bit heated at the back now, as Mageuser is just gaining a little bit of a gap. We're going to go on board though, with Pines. As you can see, 3 wide between the 12th, 13th and 14th place drivers. Who's going to come out best with this? Pines looked to send one down the inside, and Cruiser as well got involved with a little bit of a scuffle. But it is Mageuser on the first lap who has taken the lead, or sorry, kept the lead. And Stiffmeister is just struggling a little bit now. He's got Henkers on the back of him. He's going to have to speed up a little bit if he wants to keep these places, but a few places gained for some of these drivers. Twins in particular, one of them who's gained 6 places, and Lemming as well. He had the qualifying ban, but he is up into 8th place at the start already. As Mageuser, he will set that fastest time. Is Johnny Vane going to go into the pits?
Yeah.
Pines is going into the pits. Johnny Vane is as well, so 2 drivers at the start going into the pits, as Cruiser and Fishsticks now battling for 14th place this is. Let's go back to the front of the pack though. Henkers 5 tenths down on the Aston Martin, as Twins has just lost a little bit of time at the start as well. Tiddlewink looks to send one down the inside of Groansy, but Groansy is just making himself nice and big. This is a really close battle. This is the closest battle on track for points at the moment, apart from Scotsman as well. Scotsman is just looking to get involved on this battle as well. He is, well, technically within DRS range, but no DRS until the next lap. And it looked like Groansy just got a nice little launch on the exit of that corner, and he's losing a little bit of time to Tiddlewink now, who's had a fantastic start in his own right. Scotsman as well has gained quite a lot of time, and Lemming on at the back of those guys as well. It looks like we have a little train forming behind Groansy at the moment. Henkers, though, 5/10 behind Stiffminster. This is maybe not the start we anticipated. We expected maybe a couple of drivers to spin out, but as you can see, Rise and Shadows are having a little bit of a battle there. Both swapping places, but Shadows has come out the better of that. We'll go back on board with this battle between Tiddlewink and Groansy. I think Groansy went a little bit wide before the final corner, and he's had to just hit the brakes a little bit quick. I think invite for Rise apparently, so if you can get that sorted as well, that'd be brilliant. Lemming as well is going to go. He's going to try and go round the outside of Scotsman here. Is he going to do it? He got really good traction on the exit of that corner, and that is Lemming up to 7th place. What a little move that was by Lemming. I bet he'll be glad that we saw that on stream. 3rd lap now, and DRS is active.
Where's he got? Oh no, that's like yeah, Tiddlywink and
Johnny Vane.
So close now.
Yeah, this is a really close battle, and we have got a DRS train now, as Henkers hasn't been able to make DRS. But what has happened to Groansy there?
I think
Groansy has allowed him to go through, but is that for a DRS ploy probably? Has it worked?
It has
yes,
worked.
it has. So, quite weirdly, Groansy has allowed Tiddlewink to go through, but he's quite far back from him now. So I'm not entirely sure what the thinking of that was. Lemming as well we're going to go on board with. No, actually, no, we're going to go on board with Silverside, who has just made the move on TJM. So he's up into 9th place now. TJM, he's on the medium tyres at the moment, so I don't think Rise gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting.
Oh, he's round.
Not just a...
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I think he's just gone round. Oh, naughty. Look at the battle now for, I believe this is for P6 or P7?
Yep, as we've got a
so this goes quite far. That's
damage.
Scotsman, he's going really slowly actually. I don't know if he's got some sort of problem.
Yeah, maybe.
But DRS is active, and Taint, is he going to have a little look on the inside of TJM?
Thinks about it.
He's not. So actually, they are going to go side by side, but TJM just gets better traction on this corner. Owen isn't really happy with what's happened. David Lawface as well has just clipped something and put it into the chat. TJM, yeah, he's on the medium tyres like we said, sorry. They just haven't come into their little speed yet. I'm sure they will, but they're just not there at the moment. So Taint is right on the back of him, but Shadows is now looking to make a move for 10th place. Of course, this is a battle for points here.
Yeah, getting
Rise get another invite, he's saying.
Oh, yeah, he's had a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, he's having a stinker, isn't he? DRS for the drivers in 10th and 11th place. TJM on the medium tyres might just be getting swallowed up by the pack here as Lemming is taking Groundsy for 6th place, but I think they're battling. So are Taint, TJM and Shadows here. Shadows might just look to someone down the inside of TJM. Is he going to do it? They're side by side. But TJM is going to come back. Is he going to go for a switchback? No, he's not. And that is Shadows up into the points positions, and TJM just getting a little bit wobbly on his tyres at the moment.
Yeah, those tyres have not come into their own. It'll take a few laps to get warmed up. I think 5 laps in now, you expect them to start getting into a rhythm. I think that was Shadow who just picked up a penalty. But now
it was.
TJM can just stick to the back of these guys, hopefully, in the DRS and get these tyres in some sort of working order, as we're seeing a few pens handed out. But yeah, there's a few really close battles going on. This battle for 7th as well as I think it's Lemming who was lagging all over the place on my screen. I'm not
Let's
sure.
take a look. Yeah, Lemming's got some mad lag. So yeah, he is really lagging. We can see that on the stream. I'm not sure if we're able to do anything about that, but
No.
I think he's actually causing a bit of a problem to the telemetry screen as well.
Yeah, but now Silverside
So-
boy, he's pushing Groundsy around that around that hairpin. But he set himself up so nicely. Now surely this is going to be. Don't think Groundsy will be able to have DRS, and also no, I don't think Shadow's close enough. But yeah, this looks like quite a straightforward move. He's going to have it done even before the braking zone. That's as easy as you
Wow.
like, isn't it?
It is easy as you like. We'll just go towards the front of the pack as well. Henker's really close to Stiffmeister at the moment, and Magusa maybe isn't as far away as he'd like to be. I'm just seeing the clip that David Lawface's clip was me saying nice and big to TJ's car. So that's out in the ether forever. So Stiffmeister, he's not got any DRS, but Henker's does. But he's just a little bit too far away, and I think that Henker's he's really struggling on these sort of wobbly bits of the track, like the hairpins.
Take the late.
What's happened here? That's Taint. Yeah, he's going into the pits. So maybe these guys are opting for a
And now-
two-stop. We'll just stay on board with them
Shadow.
just to see.
Yeah, that's a nice move.
Oh no, it's a front wing change
Oh, is it?
for Taint.
Oh,
So that's unfortunate for him, picking up a little bit of damage. Shadows, like you said, he's into P8 now as Groundsy behind him. Gets a time penalty and I think picks up another warning as well. So the field is just spreading out a little bit more now. 6 laps into this race, we've had no retirements as of yet. Some of these drivers, as Groundsy just has a little snap of oversteer and manages to keep the car in place, but a really big snap of oversteer, and that's cost him actually the DRS range. So at the moment, I think there's only one DRS battle, and it's between Taint and Scotsman. Scotsman has gotten out ahead of Taint, and these two are quite close now at the moment.
Yeah, just looking up, Henkas, he's really trying, but he's made a couple of mistakes on this lap, and he's kind of fallen just outside of that DRS range. I mean, he's got his teammate behind him, but that's quite a big gap.
That's a big gap.
Obviously making a good start, but yeah, and that gap at the front as well is not exactly stable. So I would definitely say Stiffmeister in a really good spot. As you can see, Hengas, he's fallen away quite a few tenths this lap.
Yeah, and just looking as well. So Scotsman isn't in the game at the moment, but Taint managed to make a move on him, and then the AI of Scotsman has almost just taken out Taint. But they are literally bumper to bumper at the moment as Groundsy goes into the pits, but gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Him and Silverside Boy are going to be, I was going to say they're going to be fighting at the pit exit for track position, but Groundsy has opted to go for a new front wing.
Oh no.
So Cruiser at the moment, he's started on medium tyres. He's up in the points at the moment. A safety car would do him good.
Yeah, it absolutely would. This is relatively early for the mediums, which is definitely points more towards a 2-stop. As the tyres are definitely going to be screaming at the end. But I mean, this isn't out of the picture. You can definitely get them to the end. But it's going to be difficult. As I think Tiddlywink is
he's right on the back of him. He's got no ERS whatsoever, so if he's going to make a move here, he's going to have to really send it.
Tentative.
Which he doesn't do, but I think Twins went a little bit wide, actually. Twins, though, we'll just say, has had an absolutely fantastic start to this race.
Yeah.
He qualified in 10th place. Well, he didn't even set a lap time in Q3, did he? So he's made up 6 places from the start, but he is just feeling a little bit of pressure at the moment. As you can go flat out on these corners. In Twins, yeah, he's just gone a little bit wide, and he's opened the door to Tiddlywink just a little bit more. Hits the brakes quite nicely. Groundsy and Scotsman, I think Scotsman, I think he needs an invite. I'm not sure if we sent him one.
Yeah, I think it's back
But there we go, yeah.
He should be. Yeah, but yeah,
that is Tiddlywink on Twins. Yeah, that was easy as he like. Maybe just struggling on these tyres a little bit now is Henker's. Some of these guys, they can really, handle things like tyre degradation. You can see TJ as well. He's up into the points positions now. It's Twins.
Is that Groundsy?
I think, yeah. It's Twins. I think that's just had a bit of a problem, but Groundsy's okay.
He
looks
was
all
just
right.
had a trip to the gravel up. Yeah, I think he He's just, oh no.
Scotsman retires. Yeah, that was just
Oh,
the
and
pits.
Groundsy as well.
And Groundsy as well
They may have
retires.
come together.
That's a shame.
They may have come together.
So
But
that is our first 2 retirements of the race.
yeah.
So 15 drivers remaining, and Mag User as well. Sorry, I've just seen that on board. He has just had a massive lockup at the end of that corner. So turn 12 is a bit of a problem for him.
Yeah.
Henkers as well this lap is a lot closer to
Very
Stiffmeister
close.
than Stiffmeister would like.
Ooh.
Fistix and TJ as well.
Oh
They're having
my
a little bit of a
days.
battle as TJ, he sends it down the inside, and
Oh,
he's actually
no.
going to get a penalty for that, unfortunately.
That was
Henkers though, he's close. He's close once again. It was audacious, wasn't it?
very
from him.
audacious. Ooh,
From
the
him.
leaders in the pits.
Stiffmeister is going into the pits, and so is Mag User. So Henkers will take the net lead of the
Yeah,
US
yeah.
Grand Prix in FPRL. You are watching FPRL at the moment. Do feel free to leave us a follow. Let us know your thoughts on what's happened in this race so far. It's a nice quick stop for the Red Bull. It's a nice quick stop as well for the Aston Martin. They'll come out quite close to each other. Shadows goes into the pits as well. Fishsticks opts to stay out, so they're not going to double stack at Haas at the moment. Stiffmeister will get out ahead of Fishsticks as well. So that was, I think, crucial actually for the battle in the race here.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a few good swaps there. Now Henkers really has to put the pedal down and make sure he doesn't lose too much time, as these guys on the fresh mediums are going to be a lot faster than those old softs. So he has to make sure he doesn't lose too much ground to these guys, but of course he's going to have a lap fresh tyres come the end of his stop. Haven't really got any close battles.
No.
Cruiser on the back of TJ, both on those old mediums. As
So just got my eye on the battles at the moment, and I'm just trying to sort of do the maths for when Henkers will, or where Henkers will come out. He's used a lot of his ERS, so I think he'll make up a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take the lead of this race, unfortunately.
no, always carrying on. That is
Is he
interesting.
carrying on? So I think in that case, opting for a safety car, but at the moment all the drivers have kept it quite clean. It's Tiddlewink and Twins will go into the pits, so
And
the Alfa
Lemming.
Romeo teammate has gone into the pits. Lemming as well. Lemming's had quite a good first stint on them tyres as well
Yeah.
as Twins actually, so I think they deserve to hop into the pits to get a new set of tyres on. Fishsticks will stay out as well, TJ and Cruiser, and they've got DRS on each other. Just seeing there's a lot of position changes at the moment, so it's quite hard to keep track on
Twins go
everyone
for
that's
the
moving.
hards.
But Twins on the hard, so that is
Yeah.
interesting as he gets really close with Tiddlewink and Silverside Boy as well. Lemming has actually lost out a little bit because of that, so he goes out ahead, or sorry, behind Shadows
Yeah.
and Silverside, so he's lost maybe a position or two just from that little pit stop there. Closest battle though on track at the moment for points
Cruiser.
is Cruiser
Yeah.
with TJ, but they still haven't
And-
pitted yet.
And Fishsticks, to be fair. He's not that far. All of these guys on old tyres yet to stop. As TJ does just about sneak into Fishsticks DRS. But yeah.
Cruiser now. He stays about 4/10 away,
Mm.
but Fishsticks has just parked that car in a way that it's allowed Cruiser just to creep up on the back of TJ a little bit more, and TJ will definitely have his eyes on his mirrors as well as the hairpin,
Yeah.
as he's trying to make a move and defend his place as well. And this also sort of brings Tiddlewink into the equation as well.
Yeah.
Shadow
as
is in the DRS of Silverside Boy as well.
Henkers pulling into the pits finally. I think
Yes,
that's
he
a
is.
2-lap overcut, so he's definitely going to be behind them. But now it's just going to be reeling them in, as we've got no one else behind. Fishsticks doing a bit of a marathon on those softs.
He is.
But yeah, Henkers now with it all to do 3 point something seconds behind Stiffmeister, and he was right behind him. So definitely losing out there.
was, yeah. So closest battle once again, still between TJ
Ooh.
Cruiser, who is right on the back of TJ now. It's going to get close here, and you've got to think, when are these guys going to head into the pits? Because they'll be opting for the soft tyres. The mediums can definitely do quite a lot of time on the tyres, as well as Tiddlewink is going to get involved in this fairly soon as well. TJ's really cut the gap up to Fish Sticks as well, so this is a battle. It's not for net P4, it's P4 on track. He does get DRS, Cruiser gets DRS as well, and Cruiser might just want to send it down the inside as TJ just weaving, trying to break that toe a little bit, but late braking from TJ forces him to go a little bit wide actually, and doesn't open the door up for Cruiser, but
Shadow and
might look for a
Silverside boy.
switchback here now.
Just changing places.
Shadow and Silverside boy. Yeah, just in that DRS zone. We'll keep an eye on the battle for 4th place on track, however. Fish Sticks, surely he's got to come in this lap, because it'll be a puncture risk soon enough.
Yeah, those are going to be screaming in that 4-man train. I've also just noticed that Shadow was on fresh soft, so yeah, Fish Sticks.
There he goes into the pits, yeah.
Definitely into the pits, but yeah, Shadow on fresh soft, so he's definitely going to need to make another stop, and he's going to come through the field quite quickly. But Twins actually is in quite a good spot, and then now you've got Tiddlywink, who's going to be on much fresher tyres.
Yeah.
Than these guys on front.
So Cruiser not able to get past TJ at that moment. He is going to just stick with him like glue through the S's, and he does actually really well through the S's, and he's gained quite a lot of time. He went from about 4 tenths to 2.5 tenths there.
Yeah.
Tiddlewink is right on the back of these guys as well, so he's got the fresher tyres. You'd assume he'd make a place up here. Twins, though, on the hard tyres, don't sleep on him as well.
No, exactly.
Because they're getting really, really close. Stiffmeister as well has cut the gap down to 2.9 seconds to Magusa, so there's still a long way to go. You never know.
I think we could see
that's going to be easy as you like.
Another one as well. Tiddlywink up the inside now. Yeah, lost 2 places. He's going to fight it back though.
He will fight it back, but can't fight it back well enough. And Twins is on the back of TJ as well, so it looks like he's going to start getting swallowed up by the pack. So maybe just wants to think about pitting soon, as we are going to see a train here actually. Lemming and Silverside Boy as well, the 2 teammates swapping places. And that's for P9 on the track at the moment. We do still have 2 drivers to pits, that is TJ and Cruiser, of course. Cruiser, is he going to pit this lap? Of course he isn't.
No. I think he'll go on.
He's gone wide. So Cruiser has just gone wide, and he's going to have to give up 4th place here. And that's Tiddlewink up to 4th place.
Yeah.
Twins as well, he's getting a little bit closer to TJ. And Shadows as well joining in on this battle. So we have got a nice little train here from around 4th place, all the way down to 8th place now. And Lemming, I think, is going to join in on this battle as well, Toby.
Ooh! TJ getting very straight up there. Twins doing very well not to run back with Shadow as well, to be fair. Shadow really, he's so eager to get through. His tyres are going to be so much quicker than Twins.
Yeah.
Both these guys on fresh tyres. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Shadow's still got quite a bit of ERS, so yeah, I mean, he's all over it. His tyres got so much more grip.
I think even with the DRS here, surely you'll be looking at a move as TJ is maybe just a little bit too far back for the Alfa Romeo. Are we going to go 3 wide here, actually? Oh. So he opts not to send it, Shadow.
Oh no.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag here as well, and what's happened?
He's gone round.
That's Magusa who's gone round, and he's lost 1 and 2 places. Any problems with his front wing? No, he's okay.
No, looks fine.
So Henkers has managed to take P2, and there's a little battle as well, a little bit further down between Shadow and Lemming as well, and Fish Sticks as well has joined in our battle with John Uvain.
Where's Lemming come from?
Stiffmeister has taken the lead.
Yeah.
Magusa down to 3rd place at the moment. That little train that was going on between the top 3 has seemingly ended now. There's a train from 4th down to about 7th place at the moment, 8th place,
now.
9th place, 10th.
And Lemming around the outside of Shadow, and Twins at the inside of Cruiser. As Lemming dropping back. Yeah, it's all happening now. But yeah, that's so unfortunate for Magusa. Just out
it is getting really close.
Yeah, but he's managed to stick within the DRS. Yeah, just out of that low speed left-hander, he's just managed to send it around, but obviously didn't cook the tyres too much because he managed to get going. And to be fair, he hasn't lost too much time as long as he can stick to the back of Henkaz. But yeah, that's...
Yeah, he's still got that DRS. Speaking of DRS, this is Shadows, who I think Shadows actually lost the position to Twins, maybe, or is TJ just lost the position to Twins?
Yeah.
He's got DRS now, though. Shadow on TJ. This will be quite easy. 13 lap old, medium tyres. He is going to fight it back, though, just a little bit, though, is TJ. I don't think he'll want to fight it for too much longer.
Very respectful.
Yeah, great traction out of that corner.
Yeah, that's
and there you
racing.
go, Shadow up to 7th place.
Lemon.
So he'll be chasing down Twins once again.
Up the inside, what a dive.
Wow.
He's getting
And
really
that is Lemon.
raced.
Oh, and they just get a little bit bargy as we go on board with Silverside Boy, who will also be looking to make a move here, but he's just gone a little bit wider in the Turkey corners. So TJM is dropping a little bit like a fly here into P9. He'll need to pit quite soon. I don't think he'll really lose many places. There's another yellow flag in Sector 3, and I think it was the two Williams drivers. I think Rise just went through Pines as John Ufain is going to hop back into the pits. Fish Sticks will move up to 12th place as a result of that. But it's all happening in the midfield at the moment, and Mag User as well. We're actually going to go on board with Mag User as TJ gets a 3-second time penalty. He is in the DRS range and quite close to that DRS range as well. They've taken two different lines there as well, and I think that has just benefited Mag User a little bit more. Is Mag User is using the ERS that he has, and he's got DRS as well. And I think that's going to be simple as you like. Into P2 once again for Mag User, so he's made up for lost time. And up to P2 goes the Red Bull driver leading in the championship. As that's Pines who's retired in the pits. So it won't really mean anything to this race whatsoever. But I just got a little bit excited there, thinking we might have had a safety car. We've had 15 laps of non-stop racing here, Toby. That is unheard of in racing leagues, I think.
Yeah, it's been so clean. All these guys, I don't think I've really seen any contacts.
No, not really at all.
It's been, the racing's been so good. I mean, just look at this midfield. I mean, we've just got car,
After car,
nose to tail. Oh no. Oh no. What's happened there?
What's wrong?
No, there's a car stopped in sector 1.
So I think that's just the retired Pines.
Oh, it is.
So
Yeah.
there we go, he's gone now. So just looking though, DRS for Cruiser. Twins has quietly made his way up to 5th place as
Shadow
well.
now.
Is Cruiser going to defend? No, he's not, and he might lose another place to Lemming. But Lemming just has to back off a little bit. But Cruiser's drove really, really well this stint to stay in 7th place. TJ as well, you've got to say, is he's got to be respected for the stint that he's had. But Cruiser has actually just gone wide and gone onto the track a little bit unsafely.
Yeah.
Luckily, didn't make any contact with anyone else though. No, so Shadows is going to want to just absolutely bomb it now. 6/10 the gap between him and Twins. Soft tyres against hard tyres. He's really got to make it move now, basically.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this
I don't know what
overtake.
tyres he went on before.
I feel like I've seen this overtake 3 or 4 times already. But I think he's going to be a bit far back on this occasion. But yeah, Twins is doing so well on those hard tyres. Every time you think he's dropping back, but then he just kind of appears at the front of this
train. Back up then.
Yeah.
Well. There is still a few DRS battles. You can see Henkers is still within the DRS range of Mag User. And they're slowly chipping that time away to Stiffmeister as well. Oh, no, he's just had a bit of a wobble, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's lost the DRS.
Yeah.
So now at the moment, well, he's right back into the DRS range. So I think the straight line speed is superior on Henkers at the moment. But it looks like Mag User might just be better in them little tight corners. But we are going to go on board again with Shadows, who's got DRS. He's really tentative. Shadows. He's not wanting to send it up the inside or anything.
Wants to be alongside.
He's got the pace definitely, but he does want to be alongside. He's a true racer, I think, is the word for it. Silverside Boy as well is on the back of Cruiser, so we are sort of looking at the time now for TJ and Cruiser to pit. You would expect the pit window to be open now, or maybe in the next lap or two.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the guys, Silverside Boy runs a little bit wide. They were kind of pitting between lap 8 and 10, and of course those are on tyres which they qualified on. So yeah, any time now you expect them to come in, the Suicide Boy. I feel like I've seen this move before as well. It just sets it up so well. Yeah,
it's really, really good racing. I've been really impressed with the quality of the racing in this tier.
Shadow and Twins now,
and that's Shadows and Twins. But Twins is looking to defend this move. But Shadows, it's them soft tyres. They are just far too superior.
Yeah.
And now is Twins going to be the driver who starts just getting swallowed up by the pack as he runs wide and locks up just before that hairpin. But look, they're going to go side by side here around these turkey corners, flat out, the two of them. That was so impressive, and a time penalty to Shadows as well as a result of it. But Shadows will stay ahead, and he's actually going into the pits, so he's had the soft tyres on for 7 laps. But this opens the door now for Lemming a little bit, just to make a move up the field. He's not had any time penalties. I'm not sure about warnings, but this is now an opportunity for him to make it into 5th place as Twins. He's just been locking up the past couple of corners I've seen.
Yeah.
No drivers on the soft tyres at the moment. TJ goes into the pits, and it's a new set of soft tyres for him. So Cruiser, you'd expect him to go into the pits this next lap as well. But I think TJ's going to have to hope for a miracle, unfortunately. He's gone for an alternate strategy, and it hasn't really worked out for him, unfortunately.
No, I mean, there's still a fair few laps left, but he does seem to have left himself with quite a lot of work to do. But, I mean, you can see there's still a few guys on fairly old medium tyres.
Yeah.
Like there's 11 laps, 10 laps on the Suicide Boy. So those weren't optimal pit stop times. So you can kind of see they'll definitely be dropping off towards the end. If not, maybe even they will be thinking about going on to the softs soonish, because they'll definitely be a danger of not making it to the end.
We'll just bring the attention back to the front of the pack as well. So the gap was about 3.5 seconds between second and third place and the leader, but that has been cut down to about 1.5 seconds now, as Henkers still has DRS on the Red Bull driver who had that little spin a few laps ago. He's recovered really well, has Mag User. You can see why he is leading the championship here.
Yeah.
Lemming is still stuck behind Twins. I feel like Twins is just a big red truck that just won't move for anyone. And if he does move, he's going to give it a bit of a fight. But Lemming is doing what Shadows maybe didn't want to do, and has sent it down the inside of turn 1. But they are going side by side, and Twins will take that 5th place back. Lemming, as a result of that, maybe just losing a bit of concentration, gets a time penalty. Let's have a look at the penalties at the minute.
Yeah.
So Twins, he's on 9 seconds as Twins. So he is going to maybe drop down the pack a little bit. But a lot of these drivers, they are just on 3 seconds at the moment. So there is still a lot to play for. Tiddlewinkers drove fantastically in 4th place. He's only on 3 seconds. Depending on what happens, at the front of the pack, he might be on for a podium here. Taints, who has really quietly been making his way back up the field after a bit of a wobble at the start of the race.
Lemming and Twin.
And that's Lemon.
Yeah.
DRS makes it through. But Cruiser is just being swallowed up once again. I think if he pits this lap, he'll come out around maybe just ahead of TJ. I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, I think he'll be probably behind TJ. I think he needs to do it this lap. I mean, he's had those tyres on for 18 laps.
They'll be at risk of a puncture, definitely. Because Twins, that's another time penalty for him. He did pit on lap 1, I think, yeah.
Oh dear.
Or lap 2, he pitted early.
Yeah, that's going to be...
So surely he's not going to go to the end on these tyres.
No.
He has got 10 seconds between him and Fish Sticks, though. So if there's a safety car, he'll be flying.
He just saw me, yeah. I don't know why it's saying 19. Oh yeah. Oh well.
So, as well, look at the gap between Mag User and Stiffmeister. I don't think he'll get DRS this time, Mag User. But this is now a 3-way battle for the lead, this.
Wow.
And with 8 laps to go, there is a lot of racing to be had still.
Yep. And
is there any DRS for Mag User? No, there isn't.
Not yet. Don't forget those stretchy tyres of Henkers.
So close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Henkers, you'd probably say he's the favourite at the moment. we are going to stay on board with
Mm.
Henkers is we can see the other two drivers. The lines that these guys are taking are really different.
Mm.
It's quite like a high line for Henkers. That Mag User goes for quite a low line, and then they can just really put the foot down because they have the traction. The aero package is quite good here as well.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
So it's getting really close.
To also take a different line on entry, just give yourself a bit of fresh air and get that nose in. And then you can see them kind of align on the exit. So it's nice to see different lines, and it's quite nice for this sort of circuit design, kind of allows that. So we can definitely see some really good racing. And I think we're about to be treated to a freeway fight for this win.
Yeah, so 7 laps to go, including this one. And it's just heating up a little bit now, Toby. I'm excited for this as Lemming has opted to go into the pits. So maybe he's just thought that he's got enough time. You can see that there's a driver in front of him with quite a hefty penalty as Cruiser does finally pit. So any calls for a late safety car may just be slipping away now. Lemon will probably just be looking for the fastest lap. Same with Cruiser as well, who isn't going to drop too many places, I don't think. He is going to come out behind TJ though. So those two were racing on track earlier on in the race, but now we'll actually go to the front of the Packers.
Ooh.
That is Mag User taking a lead on Stiffmeister.
Wow.
Stiffmeister will look for a nice little switchback, and he gets good traction actually out of that corner, and he's going to look for another switchback. Yeah, well, just a little bit. This is good racing here now as Henkaz, you can just see in the background, is wanting to get involved in this as well.
His time.
But now that is Mag User back in the lead of this race, and he's recovered really well. But I think Stiffmeister just lifted a little bit before those taking corners. He'll still have DRS. He's about 5 tenths down. He takes a nice line as well into that corner. So once again, this is a 3-way battle for the lead. But Mag User is going to start pulling away.
Yeah. One other thing I've just noticed is Stiffmeister is actually negative on fuel, so
yeah,
he might actually placed a bet on a safety car, and he's kind of risking everything.
It's not going to work, is it? Yeah. So the
be.
yellow light. Thank you to Ash as well, who's pointed that out.
Oh yeah,
6 laps to go. You might start having to lift and coast here a little bit. Some really good racing tonight up the TS9. Yeah, I think really good racing. You know, the lack of safety car has really shown that as Lemming has made a move on fish sticks, so he's wanting to just get up the pack as much as he can. It looks like Cruiser and TJ will start battling at some point as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see these fresh soft runners come through. Of Lemming, I believe he's actually just elected to go on the 2-stop as he's lagging over a bit. So definitely wasn't a wing change, so he obviously thinks that's the fastest strategy in these closing stages. As it's all a bit spread out apart from these top 3.
It is a little bit spread out, but I've just seen there actually, on that long straight there, yeah, he is really lifting now. You can hear it actually. Stiffmeister is lifting, but you know, he was maybe about 300 meters away from the braking zone.
Yeah.
He just lifted off the throttle and hit the brakes.
Yeah.
So he's, as much as he wants to try and gain that lead back, he is going to lose it as well.
I think Tiddlywink is in a similar scenario.
Yeah.
Stiffmeister, with the DRS, definitely going to make it a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe that's why
a few cars will get caught out without a safety car. Yeah, let's take a look, see which cars. So Tiddlywinks. Oh, and that's the time penalty for Stiffmeister. So actually, there's only 2 drivers at the minute who have got a fuel warning. Only 2. It's Cruiser right on the back of TJ as well. So we'll have a quick look at this before we go back to the lead battle. Looks like Cruiser might just look to take P11 here.
Be ambitious.
Is he going to try and send it down the inside? He will.
Yes, he will.
And TJ's going to look for the switchback.
This is interesting.
Yeah, great racing here tonight. And this is Cruiser. Cruiser will take 11th place.
Yeah, that's a nice.
With that being said as well, sorry. With that being said, there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. And that's John Uvain, who has had a spin. He's not had the best of races, but he needs to get going now
Yeah.
because he'll
Come
get
on.
disqualified. Yeah,
Don't go causing
he's
safety
really,
cars.
really slow,
Don't
isn't he?
go causing safety cars. Come on.
Yellow flag in multiple sectors now, but it has been cleared. And if that
Yeah.
caused a safety car, I think there would have been a bit of a riot on our hands. I think we are getting to that lap now. I don't think there's going to be a safety car, even if someone crashes out now.
No.
I don't think there's enough time for it, unfortunately. So we are going to have 28 laps of full throttle racing here, Toby. I don't think I've had that in a race in a long time.
No.
So for it to be on this one, that's very impressive, especially a track like Kota. So well done to everyone for keeping it nice and clean. The thing is as well with Stiffmeister,
Yeah.
looks like he's just managed to sort... No, he hasn't managed to sort his fuel out.
No.
He'll still be on for a podium here because you can see how far Tiddlywink is.
Yes. I think Tiddlywink, obviously, is the other driver who's actually short of fuel, so who's going very slowly through there. But going very slowly, actually, through that. But yeah,
Just trying to save fuel, I think.
yeah, maybe he is. But Henkas now really has it all to do as Stiffmeister, unfortunately, is kind of out of this as he is using the RS. He's trying to make the most of a bad situation and get this thing on track.
Wow, and he is taking the
one
lead.
move. Oh, that
But
Maguser.
Maguser coming back.
This is going to be interesting.
Let's go on board with Henkers just to see this all unfold. They're literally side by side here.
Yeah.
And that's
little-
great racing between the two of them as well. But Maguser back into the lead. Henkers is back in this fight now because of that. So we said he had it all to do. He's got just a little bit less to do now.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, he needs to get past Stiffmeister if he's going to be able to have a go at Maguser. Maguser was actually very low on the RS, which isn't going to work in his favour. So, because I think he's just got to wait for the right moment and pounce. And again, I'm going to say again, he's got these slightly fresher tyres,
It's just a little bit fresher.
which are going to help him out. And of
Don't
course-
fight Mag, he got a penalty. That's what I think it's TS9 said for Maguser not to fight
yeah.
just because of the time penalty that he has. I just saw as well, Cruiser is into the points after his little stint on the soft tyres and his long stint on the medium tyres as well. And that's Taint Delaint or Tontalon, who has managed to get into P6, and he doesn't have any penalties either. But
has he?
Silverside Boy will come back at him. They're going side by side here.
Oh, that's a great
And it is going to be
defence.
Silverside Boy who retakes that position. 18 laps to 17 lap old medium tyres. They've had some stint on those tyres as Jun Vane is given
having a
another
good time.
penalty. No, he's not at all. Is Stiffmeister just going to send one down the inside? No, he's not. But a lock-up from Maguser, is that going to affect anything? Oh, I think Stiffmeister might have just had a good run on him there, but he's just
Yeah.
gone a little bit wide, and that's just forced him to back off a little bit. But that, once again, it allows Henkes just to stay with them. It's the gap now between any other cars is now 21 seconds. Cruiser is getting on the back of Shadows as well. Shadows who drove a really good stint. That's just Johnny Vane who's retired there.
That's a nice little move from Taint Delay, but Silverside Boy again putting up a really good defence, not wanting to let this
Going to
one
get a
go.
switch back here as well, I think.
He's going to have to absolutely send it. I know that's a good move. As Twins
Cruiser.
now on those hards, has just driven around the outside of Tiddlywink like it wasn't
Wow.
even there. Yeah, that's a great move. Those hards really.
So
come
with
into
that being
their
said, though, he's got 18 seconds worth of penalties.
own. Oh, there.
So I think he can finish anywhere, and Tiddlywink will still finish ahead of him.
Yeah.
Cruiser, though, up into P9, so he has definitely turned them tyres on at the end of this race. So I think he'll probably only finish as high as 9th. Henkaz has, he's just had a little bit of a moment, Henkaz.
Yeah, dropped off slightly, but yeah. Maguser again. Oh, Tiddlywink picks up a penalty. Yeah, it's going to try it again. Maguser's right out of the RS. Absolutely at the bottom of the barrel, so Stiffmeister needs to think about this. Does he really want to burn it all fighting? He obviously wants control of this
Yeah.
race and wants to set the pace. It's going to be interesting to see how he actually manages this, but of course we can't forget that he does have that penalty.
He does, and it's unfortunate because I think he could get into it a lot more without that penalty. It would have been a great little battle for the lead, this, but it is still technically a battle for the lead here.
Yeah.
Henkes needs to get ahead of Mag User for any chance of the win. It's getting close though still. We've got 2 laps to go. After they cross the line here, it'll be 2 laps. But Mag User will just get dragged along here by Stiffmeister.
No.
He's actually left the game, Stiffmeister, no.
It's all going wrong.
Back. It's all going wrong for Stiffmeister. A penalty. And now potentially losing that net P2 now
what does this mean?
for him.
Already Mag User struggling to get past, but this is bringing
back of
Henkaz actually back into it.
Cruiser needs an invite as well, apparently. And a time penalty for Mag User now as well.
That's changed
So
everything.
Mag User gets a time penalty, and that
Still
does change
struggling to get
everything.
past all this
And finally he gets past. So he just needs to absolutely give it everything. Everything.
Henkaz
all the way
now.
to the checkered flag now.
Henkaz needs to get past. Looking around the outside, this is where he needs to use the DRS. And he needs to
And
stick
he'll get DRS here as well.
with Mag User. As both these guys are all going to have absolutely no DRS. It should be quite an easy move. They've all got invites, but I don't think any of them have managed to get back in just yet. Yeah, that's
No, not yet.
unfortunate. But
So at the moment,
wow,
it's going to be Henkaz that will. That's in net P1. So Mag User will be absolutely kicking himself.
yeah.
Definitely. As the field, it's really sort of spread out at the moment. There's a couple of little DRS battles here and there, but the battle for the lead is the one that you want to be watching at the moment. Is Henkaz is just dropping back a little bit. He needs to. I hope he's not getting complacent here after all this,
No.
because he still needs to finish this next lap and be as quick as he can on this next lap as well.
Yeah,
Mag User must be absolutely kicking himself. 2 laps from the end, he gets a time penalty. He'll have been on a knife edge for most of this race, it seems. But Henkaz at the moment will be taking the lead.
yeah.
P2 on track at the moment. Going around the S's. He's even out of DRS range as well, so he is just slowed up a little bit. Or is it just a case of the tyres just dropping
I
off
think
and
he's got it.
Mag User just giving it a little bit more?
Yeah,
Just
he's
needs to
got
get
it.
around these final few corners, and I think he should be okay. But anything can happen, and he does get DRS. That was razor thin between getting DRS and not.
But of course, you got to remember the gravity of this as well, because these guys are the top 2 in the championship. Henkaz needs to gain as many points on Mag User as possible, and with that spin earlier from the Red Bull driver, putting himself back into
really
his
costing,
drivers,
wasn't
and then he allowed Henkaz to kind of follow him up to his Stiffmeister. I mean, it's all worked perfectly.
I'm just looking as well. Sorry, there's a big fuel warning on these drivers. I'm not sure if it'll mean anything now.
Yeah.
But Mag User, who had a spin a few laps earlier, rounds the final corner, and he is going to take the checkered flag.
Stiffmeister's out of
And
fuel.
it's Henkaz who wins. Yeah, it's Henkaz who wins the Grand Prix
Oh no.
after a time penalty.
Tiddlywinks out of fuel.
And it's Tiddlywinks out of fuel. And this
gonna drop
is
it.
huge,
Oh.
and he's losing 1 or 2 places now.
He's going to lose loads.
So Twins is going to take P4, but after all his penalties, he's going to drop down a few places. Taint is going to go, I think he's going to finish P4 here.
Wow.
Lemming P5.
That's a great
I think
race.
if Tiddlewink can just hurry up a little bit,
He's
he gets
got it.
P6. Silverside Boy takes the checkered
Nice.
flag as well. He goes P6 now. Shadows will finish in P10. Cruiser, with a fantastic first stint on those medium tyres, takes P9, but that's the race. No safety cars whatsoever. Only a few retirements, but they're all in the pits. Toby, it was a race of clean racing, and I don't think I've seen that ever.
It was so good. I'm thoroughly impressed. The amount of good news we saw. But yeah, the two Alpines doing really well. Silverside Boy and Lemmy, who came from the back. I mean, what a drive from him. But yeah, I mean, these podium sitters, they were in a league of their own most of the race. So really well driven.
Yeah, they were absolutely on it. Silverside Boy apparently got a puncture on the last corner.
Oh no.
So it just shows how much these guys were pushing it. But yeah, puncture on the last corner, a couple
Still
of people
sick.
running out of fuel. Yeah, that's just what happens when there's no safety car.
I mean, with the fastest lap as well. What a race!
Really, really impressive from Lemming. So he's probably going to get driver of the day, isn't he, Lemming? From P17 all the way up to P5. Tiddlewink as well did really well. Cruiser from 16th up to 9th. Great race though, really, really good race. And it was really good to be back commentating with you as well, Toby.
Yeah, it's. I mean, so many wins, such a clean race. The standard in this league is so good, and it was just an absolute pleasure to commentate on.
Without a doubt, really, really happy with a nice clean race. But same again next week, I guess. On to Mexico. A similar sort of track, but it will be very difficult, I think, in some of the little sectors.
Yeah, it's a very easy track. I mean, we saw quite a few penalties today, but it's going to be very, very easy to pick up penalties there. That's going to be probably the main thing. But a very long straight as well. Should we get these guys in for an interview?
Yeah, let's get them in. So, what was it? Henkers,
Maguser, and Stiffmeister. Got one. Alright. We should get them in, hopefully they join. There we go, we've got two now. Make sure you include your audios, guys.
Yep, audio in.
Who are we missing? Henkaz. I'll race him and hopefully we can get him in. Maybe he might not. Oh no, there he is. Perfect. Oh
there
no,
he is.
There you go.
He said he can't join, but then no. All right. Well, I guess we'll just start the interviews. Anyways, we'll start with Maguser. P1 on track, but unfortunately that time penalty a couple of laps before the end of the race. How are you feeling after what was a race with a lot of action and ultimately no safety cars or any real sort of incidents?
Yeah, it was a fun race. I bottled it at the end when one of the guys went into AI, so I went off the track and got a penalty. But no, it was a good race. I really enjoyed that one.
And you qualifying as well. I think you finished about 5 tenths ahead of anyone else in qualifying. Is this a track that you've practiced on quite a lot?
Actually, I thought I was going to be quite poor at this track. I think it was just a perfect lap at the end, I think, that really set me off.
And then finally, of course, you've got to look at the drivers' standings. 3 races to go now. I think you're about 30, maybe 29 points ahead at the moment. So what's the sort of mindset going into these final 3 races?
Just try and be consistent, really. Try and get on the podium as much as possible, obviously. But try not to spin like I did in this race, because that ultimately cost me the win, but oh well.
But yeah, a great drive from yourself. Unfortunate with the spin and the penalty, but a drive really to be respected. Well done, Maguser, for your 2nd place.
Yeah, really well done.
So we'll move on to Stiffmeister next. Is he in the party?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
So P3 for you. Unfortunately, you had a little time penalty later on in the race, and you disconnected as well, unfortunately. But how do you think your race went?
Yeah, first of all, GG to Matthews and Henkers. Great battle. Really enjoyed that one. Really unfortunate that I disconnected, but I felt my pace was strong today. Actually, the first or second qualifying that I managed to hook up a lap pretty nice. So that's always a good thing to start with. And The race went really well, really consistent, I guess, and could follow Mac user quite good. And then he made a mistake, and I was trying to manage the gap, but he closed in so fast. I think he got Hankers in like 3-4 laps, really fast, and he was closing in really fast as well on me. So I knew he had to pace today, and the only thing I could do was manage tires and fuel. Actually, I was a little bit low on fuel, but managed it quite well. And in the end, I was so unlucky with this game. Codemasters, fix it, please, because this is just crazy. 3 laps for the end. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but still a great race, and really enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned your fuel loads. We noticed that you underfueled. Were you anticipating a safety car at any point in the race?
Yeah, definitely. I guess every race I raced in, there was at least one safety car. So I think I thought there had to be one, but in the end it didn't. So that was a little bit surprising for me, and I had to manage it. In the end, was lifting and coasting a little bit, but I still had to be on the pace because Mac user was just so fast. But still managed to do it okay, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great race for myself. Finally looking at the table. For yourself, what are you going to do just to try and finish as high up the table at the end of the season?
Yeah, exactly that. Try to keep it consistent. Try to have a good qualifying again, because that's the main point. I'm so low, I guess. Every time I do good in the race, but qualifying is just a weak point of me. So I hope to do qualifying better, and let's just see where I will end. But really pleased with this one. It's good points.
Well, once again, a fantastic race from yourself. Just about equaling the P2 that you got in the previous race in Singapore. Congratulations on your podium, and then best of luck next week for Mexico.
Thanks, guys. Yes.
No problem at all. And yeah, that is now us for this week. It's been a bit of an interesting race. I think the main taking away was how clean it was. No safety cars whatsoever. I don't think the stewards will have long to sort things out there. But Toby, it was great as well to be back in the commentary box with you. Let's hope we get to do this a little bit more often.
Yeah, such a pleasure, and to have a race like this. I mean, it really can't be said enough how good the race was. But yeah, definitely hoping to do it again soon.
But of course, you can join us for Tiers 1, 2 and 3 on Thursday, Wednesday and Friday, respectively. So tune in, make sure to tune in for Mexico. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.